Hi guys, Charles here with Charles Harrison Music, back with another harmonic analysis. I think this is video 4 now. Today we're doing How High the Moon, so I'm going to dive straight into it today. As always, you're going to need to know your major scale, your harmonic minor scale and your melodic minor scale. If you've not yet learned those, look up here, I think it's on this side, and I'll teach you how to play those. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So I'm looking at the real book for my charts here, and the version I put on the screen is from iReal Pro. I'm just explaining that because I'm aware that I've said in the last couple of videos, I've talked about the key signature. So I'm literally seeing a key signature on my book, but on the screen there's not actually a key signature. So this is 1 sharp. Now 1 sharp means we're in the key of G major. Whatever the last sharp is, you go up 1 semitone and that gives you your key. So we've only got the first and last sharp here is F sharp, upper semitone for that is G. So before I dive into the tune, I want to sort of recap some of the things we've talked about in the last few videos and sort of say what we might expect to see in this tune, How High the Moon, and see whether those things crop up, whether they don't. So one of the first things that we need to check is what our most common chords are going to be. So in the key of G, the notes are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. So we've talked a lot about 2, 5, 1. So we're going to have G, A, we're going to have an A minor chord, B, C, D, we're going to have a D7 chord, and we're going to have a G major chord. So we'll expect to see lots of those. A minors, D7s and Gs. Now we'll also expect to see the 2, 5, 1 in the minor key, which will be based off the F sharp 7 half diminished chord that we've talked about a lot. So we're expecting to see some F sharp minor 7 half diminished, which is the 2 of E harmonic minor. B7 would be the 5 and E minor would of course be the 1. So those sort of chords we'd expect to see a lot. We'd also expect to see a C major 7 in here, that's the 4th of G major. Now the other thing that I've mentioned a few times now is this idea of minorization. Now minorization is when you're on a major chord, for example G major, and it becomes G minor. So we might expect to see some G minor chords, we might expect to see some C major chords becoming C minor chords. Now doing that, generally 99 times out of 100, if you're in a tonal piece of music, once something has become minorized, it takes the value of chord number 2. So if G major becomes G minor, then G going down a letter would be F. So it's as if it's 2 in the key of F major. So G, A, B, C, 7 and F. So if we do see any G minors, they're probably going to be taking us into the key of F. The final thing we talked about in Stellar was an out of the blue flat 7 chord. So in the key of G, note number 7 is F sharp. A flattened F sharp is another way of saying F natural. Okay, if you take F sharp and you flatten it, it's back to normal F. F7 would be a telltale sign that we need to be using the C melodic minor. The same would be true if the 4 chord of C major had been minorized and become a C minor, we would use C melodic minor. So let's actually look at the tune and see what we've got. Those are things we've talked about in the past. I'm just quickly recapping there, so apologies if there's not much explanation, but I've gone on about them in depth in the last 3 videos, so go and check those out. Let's dive straight in. As expected, we start off with a G major 7 chord. So we're going to be using G major sounds. Nice voicing is actually to use a G6 chord, which would be your G on the low E string, fret 3, then on the D, 2nd fret, on the G, the 4th fret, and on the D, the 3rd fret. Then you can actually swap the fret on the middle 2 strings so that you've got 4 on the D string and 2 on the G. So I'm just actually swapping these 2 fingers backwards and forwards. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Next up we've got G minor 7. Well there we go, straight out the gate. Of course I'm cheating because I do already know this tune, but I wanted to go through a sort of pre-piece routine, so you can see the sort of thoughts that a player subconsciously thinks before they play a tune. I don't literally sit and run through all those things, but if you're new to this, you should sit and run through all those possibilities. G minor 7, so that means we've got minorization, so we're probably going into the key of F major, but we'll have to wait and see. So if G was 2, F would be 1. Alphabetically, that's the way it works. And if G was 2, we would expect to have a C chord after it, a C7, because F, G, A, B, C. It would technically be a B flat, but we'll not worry about that for now. F, G would be the 2, A, B, C would be the 5, and 1 would be the F. 2, 5, 1, G, C, F. And that's exactly what we get. G minor 7, C7, F major 7. Okay, so we've got so far 2 bars of G major, and 4 bars of F major, which is what I played, but I didn't say it as I played. So G major to F major, then we get F minor. So the F major has become minorized. Now I never expected to see an F minor in the key of G, but there we go. So we've got an F minor. That's unusual, that's weird. So not only has the original key been minorized, but the key we modulated to, the secondary key, has also become minorized, suggesting that we're going to be going into the key of E flat major, because when a major chord has become minorized, it usually functions as a 2. So if F is note number 2, F minor, note number 1 would be E flat. If you're wondering why it's E flat, then you don't know your major chord, your major scales well enough. Go and revise those. F, A, B flat, and C. So F, my mistake. F, G, A flat, and B flat. So F, B flat, and E flat would be our 2, 5, 1. Okay, there you go. Me telling you don't know your scales well enough, and then me getting them wrong myself. F minor 7, B flat 7, and E flat 7. Exactly, sorry, E flat major 7. Exactly what we get. So we've gone down a key again. So far we've gone from G major to F major, down a tone, to E flat major. Again, I would have never guessed we would be singing an E flat major in the key of G. Now, although I didn't say we were going to see an E flat major, we did talk about a C minor chord before the video, before we started analysing. We did talk about C minor, and as people know, C minor is the relative minor of E flat major. So it's not that weird when you actually think about it, but you would never guess that you're going to be seeing E flat chords in the key of G major. So E flat major 7. Then A minor 7 flat 5. Well, here we go again. If you've got a minor 7 flat 5, it's going to be a minor 2, 5, 1, 99 times out of 100. So if A is 2, A, B, C, D is 5, and G would be 1. So we've got a minor 2, 5, 1 in the key of G. So we've got G harmonic minor. And then we get the G minor chord. So when you get to the 1, when you get to a minor 7, the harmonic minor scale has a major 7 in it. So when we land on the 1, we switch back to the natural minor, which is just playing the major scale of B flat, really. So we've got E flat major, to A minor 7, flat 5, to D7, which would have some sort of alteration, really, and then G minor 7. Then we get the same again, A minor 7, flat 5, D7, but this time we fool the listener because they think they're going to get a minor chord. Again, they think they're going to get this again, but we actually give them the major 7 chord. So that's a really sort of positive feeling to that chord, uplifting. A minor 7 to D7. So that's a 2, 5 in our key. Then, slightly unusual, we get B minor 7. Now a B minor 7 is in the key of G. It's the third chord, which is minor, So we're sort of expecting a new harmonic movement that I haven't yet talked about, is the extension of the 2-5-1 that we call the 3-6-2-5-1, which is this sound here. 3-6-2-5-1. I'll do a diatonic one. 3-6-2-5-1. So what I'm playing there is I said I'm going to do a diatonic one because I was sort of I was getting ahead of myself. I was changing the chords. B minor 7, which is the 3 in G, G, A, B. E minor 7, which is the 6, G, A, B, C, D, E. 2, 5, which is A minor and D, as you know. 1. However, the tune doesn't actually go B minor 7, E. It goes B minor 7, B flat 7. Now, this is actually something we talked about. I forgot to recap this at the beginning. This is our tritone substitution. So B minor 7 to B flat 7. Whenever you have a cycle of fifths, you can actually go chromatically instead. So we generally like to keep the same chord types, so we could just go like that. That was just descending minor 7s. However, in a 3-6-2-5-1, normally it's minor, dominant, major. So we've got a minor chord, a dominant chord, minor, dominant, major. So the chords I'm playing there, B minor 7, B flat 7, A minor 7, A flat 7, G. Now if we look at what the tune actually does, it's B minor 7, B flat 7, that's what we were just playing, then just a normal 2-5, A minor 7, D7, G. But you hear how it doesn't do, the job is the same, the function is the same. So I'm going to play the diatonic version again, B minor, E minor, A minor, D7, G. With all the tritone substitutions. You hear the job it does is identical, and now finally the version on the page. If you weren't focusing, they would all sound identical to you. However, they just add up some nice flavours. We also like voice leading in music with the smallest movement possible. So a nice chromatic approach using semitones. It's the smallest movement we've got. Okay. Now the second half of the tune is literally identical. Exactly the same. Any exceptions to that? Yes, one exception to that. Okay. The second half of the tune, we only do 1 minor 7 flat 5. So the next 8 bars are identical. Then we get to E flat again. So this is, I'm looking at the 8th bar from last. Got an E flat chord. Then we've got A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G major 7. There's no G minor as there was in bar 11. Okay. 2, 5. Okay, here we go. So we've got A minor 7, D7 in the 5th bar from last. Then we go straight into our 3-6-2-5-1 turnaround. And finally a 2-5 to finish, to take us back to the start. Okay. So, scale-wise, we've got G major, we've got F major, we've got E flat major, we've got G harmonic minor, we've got G natural minor, which is the same as B flat major. Over the 3-6-2-5-1, you can just stick to G major, or if you would like to, you can chromatically descend ideas, just like we did in Autumn Leaves. We had this sort of, I think I did that sort of line, okay? You can do that on these on this B minor. So we have B minor. That'd be one way of playing over the minor 251, or but you can just stick to G major. If you want to outline the notes of the chord, is what I was doing there. I was just almost playing it more like an arpeggio. So I'm playing B minor 9 there, B, D, F sharp, A, C sharp, and then over the B flat 7, I could slide down a semitone, so I've got the 9 of B flat, which is C natural. Off to the A flat, F, D, B flat. So that was playing the A flat 7 that time. So just sending ideas. Now those are nice to play regardless of whether the band is playing the tritone substitutions or not. Okay, so even if the band is just sticking to the bog standard harmony, B minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, D 7, you can muck on and add in those extensions. What it creates, if you play a B flat 7 over an E, it creates E altered sounds. So remember, oh, my mistake, sorry. Remember, E altered, or any altered, is just the melodic minor a semitone up. So I was just playing F melodic minor there because F is a semitone above E. Let's talk about a few voicings then to get us going, get us playing through this tune. So I've already shown you a couple of nice voicings for G major 7 there. And of course we can use those for any of the major 7s. Another, though, slightly yet less used voicing, which I really like, is their first inversion chords, especially if you've got a bassist. Then add in first inversion chords. Now one way to play a first inversion chord, which is like a first inversion 9 chord, is actually just to play the minor third chord. So G major, G, A, B. I'm playing B minor 7 there. But that gives us B, A, D and F sharp, which is a minor 7 sound. To make it a bit more G-y, though, we can play B, G, D, F sharp. So that's 7 on the string nearest your face, the E string, 5 on the D, 7 on the G and 7 on the B. And then from there, we can slide to that major 7 chord I showed you, or the major 6 really, which gives us a G minor 7 in its first inversion. Okay, so that is 6, 5, 7, 6. And then to get to a C7, I could do that in its third inversion, which is 6, 5, 7, 5. So that movement sounds like this. Excuse me for my terrible whistling. Okay, my whistling's appalling, but I don't think my whistling was even correct, let alone in tune. You notice I moved the same chord progression down. I'll do that without whistling, you get the idea. Where's my first line? Ba da 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 da. Ba da da da. Ba 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 da. Ba da da da. Ba da 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 da. Ba da da da. Ba da 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 da. Okay, so I was starting to muck about a little bit there. That same 6, this shape here is just so useful. This I first showed you this as a G major 6. Okay, so 3, 2, 4, 3. If I slide that up to the 8th fret, I'm now playing the second inversion of an F major 7. 8, 7, 9, 8. Okay, so I've got second inversion, first inversion, which shape did I show you? That one there. And then down here I can use the same shape as I was using on the 8th. It's now got an open string. That would be the third inversion, not a very popular sound, but so I have all those sounds. I'll do the same thing on G, so I don't have to use an open string. You can see the point. I'm on the fret 3, 3, 2, 4, 3. I can move that up to the fret 10, and here if I add a low G on the bottom, it's still a G chord. Get that in tune. I'm bending it out with my thumb by accident. There we go. I can slide back down to G. Here's just an inversion of that. Okay. And really I think that's all there is to say about this one, guys. So just to recap, finish off, you need G major, F major, E flat major, G harmonic minor and G natural minor to make your way through this tune. I'll try playing over it once just to finish off here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's not the most inspiring solo in the world, but hopefully you could hear the scales going by there. Thanks very much for your support on the last few videos, guys. I hope you're enjoying this series, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please leave comments down below requesting tunes, requesting me to clarify anything. I'm just doing these free-form, pretty much live videos, as you can tell, so I'm well aware that I'm just sometimes rambling on, maybe not being as articulate as I could be. So if you'd like a more structured video really outlining some of these concepts, if they've not come across well in these videos, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. I find that this format of video is probably the easiest both to watch and to make, and hopefully covering all these different jazz standards, you're going to get the hang of it. Look forward to seeing you next one. Cheers.